Thank you. Good evening. The network as usual. Good evening, everybody. I believe you can hear me. Good evening, ma'am. Yes. Thank you for joining tonight. Can you hear me? Let me know when you are hearing me. If you're not, okay. Good evening. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, let me know. And if you cannot, let me know. Okay, can you hear me, everybody? I don't know if you're hearing me or not. Loud and clear. Okay, thank you. Good evening. I believe we don't have much time, so we have to start immediately. Good evening, everybody. My name is Oluabi, or Abid, depending on where you are watching from. Last week I couldn't do it because I was indisposed. I'm sorry for the inconveniences. I knew everybody was ready, you were ready for me, but I couldn't come online due to one thing or the other. So I'm really sorry for what happened last week. And today, that's why we are repeating what we were supposed to do last week. We are having it today. So thank you for joining. Thank you, everybody. I can see Adeleke Inde, El Nino Adeyinka Ronke Orede, Olufemi Daniel, Dupe Busari Oyeniran. Thank you for joining in. I really appreciate you all. Thank you so much. I could see Leo Show Olushola. Thank you. God bless you. Adeni Ibumi Udu Eka Lema. Thank you so very much. God bless you. Thank you. Yes, about 2 weeks ago, we were discussing about this relocation stuff. The Japa. Good evening, Adegboyega Michael. Ademesoye Omoade Ade. Thank you. So last week, 2 weeks ago, we were discussing about Japa, this relocation stuff that we were talking about, and we have spoken about the first and the second one. We have spoken about the reasons why people are traveling and the set of people that are traveling and stuff like that. So then this week I'm going to talk about the people's expectations before traveling. You have expectations, you know what you want to go and meet there. Then you have an idea. You have what you have on your mind that you expect to meet there, that you are aiming at, right? Fine. Then, but this week we are going to talk about the expectations and reality. It's just we are expecting to meet some things, and then we meet some other things. So there are expectations and there are realities. When we talk about expectations, like Idowu Lizzie Ogunkeye, thank you so very much for joining. Expectations, like what we expect to meet there, what we really want, that is it. How we planned it, how we want it. Does it really go that way? Let's keep it up. Okay, now you say you want to japa, you want to go abroad. Okay, depending on the kind of the japa you are doing, maybe the category, maybe you are doing education wise, maybe you're going to school or to acquire more knowledge, and then, or maybe you are going for health issues, or you have been invited, or you have been filed for by an immediate family member, maybe your child, your parents, your children, your siblings, depending on where you're going to and what they allow in that particular country. So now I decided to talk about expectations because I believe these are parts of the things people think about and they aim at before traveling abroad. So what are the expectations that you intend or you wish to meet over there? Okay. I'll keep recognizing people once in a while, Thank you for joining also. God bless you. I really appreciate you all. Thank you for not letting me down all the time. You are always on time. Thank you. God bless you. So I said I'm talking about the expectations. Okay, like maybe you're going for school. You believe that when you get there, people have told you so many things about school there, like, when you get there, what you just need to do, pay your school fees, go to school, if possible, get scholarship. Fine, you can get scholarship. Do you know that? Depending on how well you're doing, and then depending on the course you're doing. So it depends on where you're going to, whatever course you're going to do, and how well you're doing. So on those criteria, they can give you scholarship. Some can decide to give you full scholarship. Some can give you parts of the scholarship, maybe like half, or maybe just for you to give you some tips, like stipends to be able to buy things and things. So in most cases, they allow students to work. But mind you, when they tell you they allow students to work, you are not going there to work and be paying the school fees. They have expected you to have had enough money to be able to pay your school fees, especially when you're going for your first degree, when you're going to spend more than a year. So if you're going for masters, it's possible for you to pay everything at once if you have it, right? But now, they give you chance to work, depending on whichever country you're going to. I know initially when you come to the US and then you have to be in school for a certain time before they could give you the opportunity of working. And when they give you chance of working, you cannot do more than 20 hours in a week. My dear brother and sister, when they give you 20 hours in a week, no matter how much you earn, 20 hours in a week is just nothing. I would say it can only cover maybe your feeding or transportation. It can't do nothing or much. But in some countries, there are chances for spouses to come with you in some countries. Like I know in the UK, they do allow spouses if they have not stopped it. I don't know yet. But somebody was telling me they're going to stop it or something. But they do allow spouses to come. Now, those spouses is just two categories. Some, they will allow their spouses to work. And some, they don't allow their spouses to work. You can only come and visit. You can only come and stay if you wish to stay. But they expected you to have had enough money to be able to take care of yourself. And if you have children, in the course of, staying abroad and everything like that, depending on the country also, right? Some will give your child automatic citizenship. Like in the US, any child being born in the US gets automatic citizenship. Even if you're a passerby, you're just passing by, you just decide to have a layover in US, and in the course of that, you put to bed or you deliver your baby or your child there, your child gets automatic citizenship. But some countries don't allow that. If you like, born 20, they don't care. They will give you some certain years. They can say, your child have to be in that country for so years until they could be able to get their citizenship. Some will say 7 years, some will say 14 years, and some will even say 21 years. You can imagine that. That means you won't take that child of the country to be able, for the child to be able to qualify for the citizenship. but I will only talk mostly about the US because in the recent times I've been in the US, so I have an idea of what is going on there. So any child being born in the US as of today gets automatic citizenship. So if you have come to the US to study, then your child can have citizenship. But mind you, you cannot exceed 20 hours, whatever job you want to do. And if you are lucky, you get a good company to work with, then when you finish, they can file for you. But filing for you, it's have different categories also. Some of them, they will tell you to give you chances of working with them for some certain years before they can file for you. They can say, oh, if you're with us till the next 3 years or 5 years, then we'll file for you. Some will say, if you are with us till 1 year, then we'll file for you, depending on the policy of that company you're working with. So if the company says no, there's nothing you can do about it. Just come, study, and pack your bags and go back to your country. But if you insist on staying there, so it now depends on the category of the kind of job you're doing and the company that you're working with. Those are the ones that will determine whether you're going to stay in that country or you're going to leave the country. So that is it. So another thing is concerning the education stuff. If you are lucky, as I said, if you're so lucky, for whatever company you are working with, maybe that your 20 hours, they like you so much there, you have been good to them, they can say, oh, we are going to retain you after your education, then you work with us, then we'll file for you. And that company, they have procedures also that the government look at. If they meet up with those procedures, then they can allow that. I've seen people getting that kind of opportunity, and becoming citizens in the aspect of schooling and, staying over. So another thing I want to let you know I'm sorry about that anyway. Sorry. So another thing I want you to understand is that when you go abroad to study, it's not everybody that stays over. Some people have the fund, they don't want to stay. So initially that was what was happening. People will come study, I paid my money, I'm done with school and everything, then I have the chance of going away. But later on, people started staying over, and then they started changing their policies, their laws, their regulations, and everything. And it's making it harder and harder every day. As we can see, everybody is trying to jackpot, so they are making it very hard for almost everybody. So that is why schooling at times, staying over after school at times doesn't really pay like that, except maybe you have somebody that wants to file for you or something like that. So now, when we leave this aspect of schooling, some other ones are job-related ones, like all the skilled workers and everything. They can make you sign an agreement with them before leaving your country that when you come over, then we will retain you, we'll make sure we file for you. But you must have worked with us for some years. They will tell you if you really want to do it. So if they say you work with them for like 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, then they will file for you. If you can wait for that long, you can take it. And and one thing about that is that when you want to work in that category, you have the chances of moving about. Like maybe you are legal, you can drive because you're working, so you can work. But that particular company that filed for you, or let me say that particular company that gave you the opportunity, they are the ones that will file, will like apply for your visa, right? And then that company must have been doing it before. They have the criteria they have to meet up with. As I said, those ones too, maybe you have to be filing your taxes everywhere, every year. Oh, Nija Ijoba Lole, you don't rob the country, you have to pay your due taxes, and those are the things. So many companies, they don't. So people would have put so much hope and trust in them. So by the time they are ready to be filed for, that is when they meet their Waterloo. They find out that those companies did not file taxes, and that will be a big issue for them. So before you go, make inquiries to know that this company, you can Google online, ask questions, whoever must have introduced you to it, ask questions and everything. Then to make sure you are really going the right path, so that you don't jeopardize the real and original opportunity for fake. You understand what I said? The other times I told you, you have to make inquiries, ask questions to know you're on the right path before you make mistakes. Yes. I would like to acknowledge some people. Thank you so very much for joining. Wale Abdul Rashid Balogun, thank you, sir. And Adenola, thank you, God bless you. I'm really happy, and I'm really grateful for you people joining. Who else? I think I've mentioned almost everybody's name. Idowu Lizzy, yes, I mentioned your name. Thank you so very much. I just need to acknowledge Oluwagbemiga Yonuga. Thank you, my brother. God bless you. Thank you. Olufemi Daniel, okay, I mentioned your name also. And Motoyosi Shodia Oriowo, thank you. Dolapo Kanu, wow, thank you. God bless you. Thank you so very much. So, Olubukola Adewumi Omo Baba Abi Omo Babara. Okay, thank you so very much, my sister. Yes, it's you. I see you. Thank you. God bless you. So, Folake Deborah Shobowale, my sister. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you. Sunday, I know. Tile. Babao. Thank you. Thank you for joining. So, God bless you, love. So, as I was saying, I was talking about the job-related ones, so you can work. But mind you, they are the ones that fight for you. You cannot leave them, you cannot let them down until you stay for those years that you have signed up for. If you have signed up for 5 years, you have to stay for that 5 years, even if you want to leave the job. But I try to talk to people, don't be greedy, and don't be over ambitious, which is killing most of our people. When they get there, before you leave your country, you have been pleading and praying and crying. Oh, don't worry, even if you pay me $1 per hour, I will take it, just for me to japa, just for me to leave the country. But immediately they get there, they step their foot on the soil. The next thing is they'll be looking for how to bend rules. Like, no, I can't stay 5 years. I can't stay 5 years. Because you are getting more comfortable, then you want to let those people down. All the money, the resources, and everything they have put on you, you want to like swindle them and go away. And most of our people get into trouble because those ones will mess you up. You met them in the country. If you're trying to bend them over, they will bend you back and send you back to wherever you are coming from. And some people, if they don't get to send you back, they mess up your papers, which will make it so difficult for you to get papers. So I tell people, if you are coming in that category, make sure you do your findings and make sure you are not promising heaven and earth on your tongue, like making just empty promises. Oh, I'll work for you, I'll be diligent, I'll be doing this, I'll be doing that. And at the end of the day, like you're getting you're getting money, then you start saying, I can't stay in this kind of environment, I have to change this, I have to change that, I have to do that. But before you get there, you're trying to say, oh, you will do it, you will do it. Okay, so those are the things I tell people. Make inquiries, ask questions. Are you comfortable with the laws, with this, whatever laws, the rules and regulations they have put down for you. Are you comfortable with it? If you are not comfortable with it, sky is the limit. We have so many companies that are looking for people. You will still see. Just keep praying, striving, making inquiries, and you can move ahead, and you get another one. You don't have to do it like all in all, that the first one I get, that's the only one I will do, which puts people into so many troubles. So excuse me, somebody is asking a question that she explained on student visa, working visa, permanent visa. My dear brother, El Nino, I would say student visa is when you want to come to the country to study, and you go look for schools. You look for schools online. You make inquiries about the school to see they are genuine schools, they are authentic. Then you see if you can pay their fees. Some will say you should pay before you come. Some will say you should pay like acceptance fee. Some will say you should pay part payment until you come before you pay the rest. So depending on the school, whatever the policy they are running. So if you are okay with it, and that is it. And then when you pay that one, they will now give you some things to use to apply for visa. But having paid your school fees for the school does not guarantee you visa. It is the embassy, US embassy, that will determine whether they are giving you visa or not. They have so many things they look up to. So one thing I tell people is, when you want to apply for visa, for student visa, most of them, if you have not been in school for a while, you must have a cogent reason for not being in school for a while. Maybe you're working, or you just want to improve or increase your knowledge. Like you have done your first degree, you have done your HND, you just want to go for master's or your PhD or another degree. But not that you have not been in school. Maybe you finished secondary school like in 7-10 years ago, you have not been in school, and then you suddenly after 10 years you want to go and do first degree. Because I remember one time like that, I encountered a lady. These people are psychologists. They study psychology, so they can read you. They can read through you. Immediately they're talking to you. They ask you 1 or 2 questions. And then there is this fear. Whether you like it or not, when you get there, but when you get there, there's a way you'll be feeling. Even if it's a 20-year-old that is going to interview you and you are 50 years old, you're still going to you'll be jilting, like you'll be a bit scared, you don't want to be turned off. So at times you get to speak jargons or say what you're not supposed to say. So when they ask you a question, so they were asking this girl, where did you finish secondary school? She said it, and that was about 5-6 years ago. Why didn't you go to school then? Why didn't you further your? They said there was no money. So how did you now come by the sudden money that you want to spend to go and study your first degree? She said, yes, I have saved up. I saved up. I said, when you're saving up, why did you start going to school in Nigeria there, and then maybe a part-time? Even if you want to go now, we can see that, you have done a part-time. The way they were asking questions, the lady contradicted herself like 2-3 times. And the next thing, I'm sorry, I won't be able to give you the visa, and that is it. So they will ask you questions that you will almost call yourself something else if you're not careful, so you have to be very careful. So giving you admission for the school does not guarantee your visa. You have to go and struggle for the visa on your own, right? And that's why many people are running to Canada, because America, at times there may not be dates, like sooner dates. Maybe they have later dates, maybe like 2024, 2025. And people that want to go to school in January, they can't wait till 2025. So, and then they don't want the space, the gap, to be so much that they will be asking another questions. So that is why many people are doing it that way. And student visa depends on whatever you are going to study and whatever they give you. If you are going for first degree, they can give you more than 1 year, 1.5 years. But if you are going for your masters or so, they can give you 2 years, which is 24 months. So depending on whoever you meet as your interviewer, that is it. So because they will have to give account to their own supervisors, also to their superior officers. So they go through it, they see, and that's why there's no sentiment in it. So they don't know you, they don't want to know you, so they go by whatever reasons they want to, give you or not to give you. Then working visa, as I said, when you look for job, there are so many skilled workers they are looking for all over the country, all over the world. So if you're lucky and then you have one skill or the other, you want to go and work over there, it might even be your whatever you study in the university that you are going there to work for, which is good. So that's why you have to make your inquiries very well, ask questions to know that those companies are real and authentic and they are paying taxes. They can, they can invite or employ people from overseas, that is outside the country. If not, so that you don't miss your opportunity when you're supposed to be looking in another direction, you are being pinned down by one particular company that is not making any headway. So you have to be very careful and be watchful. That is it. Especially when it comes to when we see that we, that is what people are doing now. They will know that this company, they won't be able to employ you. They will collect money from you, swindle you, get everything you have. That's why I tell people, if you don't have your visa at hand, even when you get the visa, make inquiries about the visa. I said I will still ask questions about that, because I know you can go online and go to the websites and check your visa. If it is authentic, you will know. If it is not, so don't sell your stuff, don't dispose your belongings or your properties all in the name of looking for visa. Because if it does not click, you won't have your fingers to bite, right? So that is it. Then the permanent visa you are talking about, I don't understand. What I know about the permanent visa is maybe you have a wife, you have a husband, you have children, you have parents that filed for you, then you are going like an immigrant. You are not going like a tourist or a student or a worker. You are going there to become a permanent resident over there. So those are the criteria for that one. So now, when I talked about the job related stuff, so in the process of looking for job, you can get job, right? As I said, you can look online and get a job. There are so many skilled workers they are looking for, even in Canada, UK, everywhere. If you're lucky, God do it, that's good. But just make sure you ask questions. Don't dispose or disburse anything that belongs to you when you don't have. The English people says a stitch in hand saves nine. Tó bá ti ní lọ́wọ́, matter property, matter anything, and don't tell anybody. I tell people to seal their mouth. When you have talked, you have spoken, you have said it to everybody, you have told everybody your plans. If it doesn't work, next time you talk, let him or her keep running her mouth. So that is why you have to make sure you have it at hand before you dispose anything. That is it. So for kids, like I said, for children, most of them don't have say, especially when their children, their parents relocate. They have to relocate with their parents, whether they like it or not. So that is it. So like people you invite over and you ask them to stay over. So some people will say, "Ma worry, I invited you, so when you come, just stay over." My dear brother and sister, they will tell you so many stuff with their lips, but deep down you don't know what is going on. So that is why I said, in the aspect of expectations, so you expect that when you get over there, okay, I'm a student, I'll get there, I'll start working and be paying my school fees. That's why I said they expect you to have paid your school fees or to have come with enough fund to pay your school fees. They are not expecting you. That's why they allow 20 hours every week. So they know 20 hours cannot pay your school fees. So definitely you ought to have made an arrangement for the payment of your school fees. So that's why when parents are sending their children over there to do masters and whatever, the parents are the one backing them up from Africa, from Nigeria. So if you are not having enough fund, that is why when some of them get over there, they go and do yahoo and they get caught and mess up everything they have come, or jeopardize everything they have gone over there to do. So we have to be very careful with all those ones also. Then another thing is, as I said, is about expectations. Like, okay, we expect that so person has invited me. Thank God I'm able to get my visa and everything. So when I get there, I'm going to put up with the person. Okay, before I get to that putting up with the person, like an accommodation, the person must have told you, don't worry, where I'm working, when I speak to my boss, sorry, they'll give you job, they'll give you this, they would have made mouth for you, you think that the way he's talking, it must be a boss, it must be your guards wherever he's working. Whereas nobody for jungle, maybe the person is not even the oga, maybe the person cannot even talk to the oga, you understand? But all because they want maybe your money, or they want to send you an errand, or they want you as a boy over there. That is when they will now tell you, "Ma, but don't worry, once you get here, I'll get you a job." Ask the person, are you an employer of labor? Do you have a company? Do you have job? Do you have you have job that you want to give me? Do you have a company of your own? If you are going to say no, I'll make sure they employ you at my job. It's not guaranteed. Don't expect to get there and meet it the way it's telling you. My dear, don't expect to get there and meet it the way it's telling you. Some will tell you, "Emma, come over, bring your children and everything." They know that once you sell everything, you will have access to cash. The moment you enter, they will be nice to you. So after about a month or two, you will now become a pest, a burden on them. They will be looking for a way to dispose you. So get that one at the back of your mind. That person that has been laughing with you, playing with you, the moment you come inside and stay with that person, put up with the person for like a month or over a month, you are already choking the person. So they will be looking for a way to get rid of you. So don't think it will be like the way the person, this thing, the shocker I want to give you, the person can even be your relation, can be your brother, can be your sister, can be whoever. That is it. Yes. Tenibi Ajoluwashin, thank you. She said some people will dash their belongings out. Hey, you dash it out, you're on your own. No? When you dash everything out and the thing no longer click, will you go and collect it back? Or maybe the person gets repatriated. Will you go and collect it back? So please don't give anything out. Don't disburse anything. Don't give anything out unless you're certain and sure. Or maybe you have even entered the country. Then before you now say, you're getting rid of some stuff. Thank you, God bless you. So those are the things. So now When I said so many people, what they cannot acquire, what they cannot come by in the next 15 years, they will be making mouth for you. Don't worry. Once you come in, I have the key that ties my oga. Once I tell my oga like that, my boss, he can't joke with me. I am the bone, I am the pillar of that job. Hey, na lying. Oyinbo no dey look face. If you mess up today, they send you off. They get another person. That is their life. So nobody the pillar of job unless you are the owner of that company. You are the CEO. If you are not the CEO, and people are making out, we see people getting stranded. They'll collect their money, collect everything they have on them. And when they know you are naive, you are vulnerable, as soon as you come, you don't know anywhere, you don't know your right from left. Even if you have heard stories about America or that particular country, you can't know your way immediately. Gullibly, you have to still follow some people before you know your ways around. So they will make a trap. It's like a trap. You walk into it, they swindle you, collect all your money, get you stranded. Some will even be threatening you. That they are going to call the cops on you after collecting all your money. After collecting all your money. Tenibi Ajay says, please, at what age can the children join their parents over there? Because I have a lot of people living without taking their children along. Okay. My dear sister, it depends, right? If you're going there to work and they give you visa to cover for all the family, right? You might not be able to take the children immediately because you don't know where you're going, you don't know what's going to be, right? And you don't want to get the children stranded or to suffer over there, right? You and your spouse can go first. And then when you are leaving, it depends on whatever visa category you are going on. If you are the one that's, because they will ask you if it's a family visa, like maybe you're going there to work, you as the breadwinner or whoever must have gotten it, maybe your wife, they will ask, are you going with the children? If you want to go with the children, some will say, yes, we love to go with the children, but we don't have the resources yet. They can give you the chance, like all this visa lottery. They can say you have to pick them, get them before 6 months. So in that case, you can quickly go there, know your way around, get a house, do this, then go back and pick the children. Because if you don't pick them within that particular time, I think you will have to wait until 5 years when you get your papers. That is it. Unless maybe you invite the children over and you are lucky they give them visa just for, visiting. And in the process, you might say, okay, let them stay, since I'm still going to fight for them. It depends on whatever you want. So, but if you are a parent and you leave your children back, and then your children are underage, anytime you want to pick them, you fight for them. But if your children are over 21 but not married, there are some certain years. If they are married and over 21, it's more, because that's another family entirely, right? But you can still fight for your children. That is in America. I don't know of other countries, because all these people, all these countries, what favors people more in one country might not favor them in another country. That's why you have to draw the map on the floor, on the ground, and make inquiries, proper inquiries, ask questions, Google, then ask people. Then you can know. When you ask 10 people, 10 of them cannot lie to you. You must see 1 or 2 persons that will tell you the facts, the real facts that is really going on. So ask questions. So those people leaving children behind might be because they don't have anywhere to put them when they get over there, and they don't want those children to suffer because the weather at times may not be friendly. You understand what I'm saying? So that is why some of them are leaving children behind, to come get them later in the future. And some, maybe they didn't give their children visa, and some didn't even apply for the children. Some, I have a couple who applied. The husband said the wife was always the one talking about America, America. He now said, hey, there's no I can go and apply. They might not give me, so let's go together. Both of them went together. And lo and behold, they gave both of them. So when they got here, they were supposed to spend 3-4 weeks. Their friends were convincing them, you know, and it was during the era of our former president. They were repatriating people, they were denying people visas. Even people that have been coming into the country for years and years, they've obtained visas severally, they still denied some. So that fear alone was the one that prompted them to stay over. So they were supposed to come for holiday. They decided to stay. Their children are still back in Nigeria now. They are stuck in Nigeria. I have about 2 or 3 families I know about. So those ones came in the aspect of holiday, just to open the visa, you know, for the first time, to enjoy ourselves as husband and wife, and they decided to stay over, you know, and that is it. So what works for A might not work for B. So what works for you might not work for me. So that is one of the reasons why some people are leaving the children behind. Okay, now let me come to the aspect of accommodation. People will tell you, I will give you accommodation. Ask the man or the woman, ask him or her, is that accommodation yours? Are you the one paying rent or mortgage in that house? Or is somebody else? Or is a rented apartment? Make inquiries. Some, they don't intend to disappoint you. Some knew quite all right that they could not abhor anybody in the house, and then yet they still give you go ahead. So you have to know the category of people we are talking about. Okay, Adeyinronke. Okay, Adeyinka already. A lot of them will leave their spouses in Nigeria and get married to get stay. Well, I know it is happening. If I say no, it's a lie. But most people, maybe they are no longer with their spouses, but unknown to the world. You know, we cover a lot of stuff. Maybe the person is not married, no longer with his or her spouse, and nobody knew about it. So they move ahead without, you know, proclaiming their matter, like telling the whole world. That is it. So, and some of them don't get married over there. And some of them, because they have stayed for so long, the spouse will even release them and say, well, you know what? I will stay over here. You too, stay over there. Let's just call it off, because I can no longer wait for you. That is it. Okay. The accommodation aspect. Yes, ma. Okay. The accommodation aspect. If you can't give what you don't have. You don't have a house to yourself. You are promising somebody an accommodation. Definitely is going to be a failure. It's going to be a failure. I used to have a friend who told me about his predicament when he got to UK. He said he got the visa. He didn't really have the fund, so he was looking for money. So he now is right-hand friend that was in UK that was helping with the processing. Not that the person funded him, but the person was the one, you know, directing him. Fill the form like this, fill the form like this. So when he got the visa, he was the first person he told. Now say, that's good. You got the visa. Oh, that's good. Okay, I'll clear this part for you so that when you come, you'll be staying with me. The guy said, oh, he was so happy. He knew nobody in UK. He knew nobody, practically nobody. So he was so happy. So he was talking with him, and everything. So one day, he said there was this guy in the area. That one, they were now talking, he now told that one that, Mugba visa UK, that I got a UK visa. And I said, oh, that's good. You remember that my brother, my eldest brother, he's in UK. Let me give you his number in case you might need his help. He said, he told him that, no, I don't need his help because I already got an accommodation and the guy is even ready to give me a job as soon as I enter. Say, this guy came again the second time and was pestering him. Oh, Degba, take this address, take this phone number in case you need him. You might need him, you don't know. You can never say. Now say, no, don't worry about that. Say, for the third time, that was a day before he left. He went to greet him and say, I'm lonely. And I say, hey, alright, I'm having these premonitions. My mind is telling me that you should take this number. He said he collected that number and put in his pocket that he knew he was going to trash it, that he was going to throw away the number. But he now forgot it there. So when he got to UK, he had plans. The guy that was helping him with filling of the form and everything already had an accommodation for him. He said immediately he entered the country, he called and said, ọ̀rẹ́, mo ti wọlé Olúwa ṣeun. Say, hello, I can't hear you. Hello, say, I said I have entered the country, I'm okay. How do I move? You are expecting, you are coming to somebody. He did not give you his address. He said, don't worry, I will be at the airport waiting for you. You did not say, okay, in case my phone does not work or your phone does not work, give me address so that I can know where to trace you to. You did not collect address. Say, don't worry, I'll be at the airport. He said he called the second time. The guy said, hello, Talo Soro, I don't know who's talking. Who is this? Hello. He called the phone. He said he called the third time. The guy did not pick again. That time he was telling me this story. That was in 2008. And this guy had been in the country for like 5 years. He had not set his eyes on that guy. He had not picked his call. And the phone refused to go. He said he even used somebody else's phone, switched off. It was then, it now dawned on him that, this is reality. No accommodation, nilu, when there was cold. And UK cold, hey, cha-cha. He said, nothing could break him. He said that day, he stood in one corner like that. He was crying. He said when he cried, he finished crying. He now remembered that his friend was like begging and pleading for him to get his brother's number. He now dipped his hand in his pocket and got this number out. He said when he got the number out, he now called the brother. Now said, he didn't want to. Now said, let me just try. Say even if he wanted to rent a B&B, he does not know the address, he does not know how to come about it, he had little cash on him, which could take him maybe a day or two. Where will he go from there? He said he now called this brother and said, Egbon, it's me, your junior brother's friend. So he said, oh, Omo Baba Lagbaja, how are you? My brother told me you were going to call me. And I was in town. I was in London, but I don't live inside London anymore. I live outside London. Do you have cash on you? Can you go to the train station and buy tickets because I can't come back and pick you? The person that did not know he was coming, he said yes, he had some cash, he could buy tickets. Say, okay, in case I can't reach you or you can't reach me, take pen, write my address down. He said he wrote the brother's address. The brother gave him number that in case if the phone dies, call this number, that is my house line. He got the number, he got the tickets, and the brother had to go and wait for him at the junction and picked him up. He even came with a jacket, you can imagine. Say, you would have been cold by now. He said, yes. Say, take. When he got to that brother's house, he now found that, because the brother was saying, I won't be able to accommodate you, but I will get you somewhere which you can lay your head for some time before you move on. He said when they got home to that brother's house, he now found out that his wife, the brother had a room apartment. His wife just got into the country 2 days before with 3 children. You can imagine that. So it was then he now knew that this is reality. So the brother was able to give him accommodation for like 2-3 days and took him back. He was calling people, Joe, abro mi kan lode, you help me abort him for a little while before he can be on his feet. Just play. I don't mind paying you some things, some money, so that you can be able to harbor him for a little while. This was a brother. He never told he got a visa. He never even wanted his number because he believed he does not need him. How much more the one that have been bluffing, making mouth, come and stay with me, come and stay with me, I will clear this place for you. He said he had not set his eyes on that one for like 4 or 5 years that he had been in that country. That is another reality for you. People will promise you. It's just on their lips. So those promises are empty promises. When you get to the country, then reality will dawn on you. Then you will know that, yes, this is reality. They will promise you job, no job. They will say, don't worry, just pay the money. Don't worry, just pay the money. Pay the money. Somebody will come and collect the money from you. They will do this, they will do that, they will do that. When you get there, you will see that there is no job. When you get there, you will see that even the person promising you a job does not have a job. You will see that the person promising you accommodation is squatting with somebody. Maybe the person is living under the stairs. Yes. There's a way they do it. Okay. Like in UK. I've lived in UK for a while. So I have an idea. So the house, maybe it's a 5-bedroom house. They have 5 different tenants in the house. So in the downstairs, in the first floor, under the stairs, they will put it just like when you try to put like a small pantry, like a small store, a storage under the stairs. Somebody's bed is inside there. The person will keep his or her luggages in there and lock the door. So if you want to sleep, he will bring out his bed, his foam, and lay it in front of that door and lie down there. Maybe that's where the person is sleeping and is promising you accommodation, but you don't know until you get there. So those are the realities that people get to meet when they get over there. Those are the realities, my dear brothers and sisters. So let me burst your bubbles another way. They will take you to a company. That company, right? They will tell you they are the owner, or they are in partnership with whoever owns the company. They will give you address for the company. They will tell you go there. When you get there, when you even mention their names, nobody knows them. Nobody have even heard that name before. They will say, who? Not here. Won't buy any booze. And you have paid money for all of these things. Accommodation, even food or anything. And that is why you see some people, when you give your children to them, you don't know what they are going to do with your children. Some don't even get to leave the country. Some leave the country to one of the African countries. Be very careful. Then another reality I want you to know is that money does not fall from the tree. You will work your ass for the money. Oyinbo no dey dash people money like that. No. They will now say, because you just came from the country, from Nigeria or from Africa, we are giving you this. No, they don't send. You will work for it. Another reality is when you come as a husband and wife. I said it the other time. If you are the one that presses remotes, bang, you don't get to do anything. You will do. You will do. No boy day. If you want to employ a maid, you can get. But they get money per hour. It's not like Nigeria that you will say, I will pay salary each month. How much are you going to pay? How much are you going to pay? Maybe you are doing overnight. Your wife is doing day. So you will be the one to drop the children in school, pick them, and monitor their homework. So now, in the morning, 7 a.m. the children goes to school. Their mom can prepare them down. As you are coming, you are picking the children, drop them. Or even their mom can drop them at school. The ones that are not going to school, the ones that are not going to school, you come back and babysit. If you don't want to pay nanny, you will be forcing that child to sleep, but the child will not sleep. And if eventually the child sleep maybe 2 or 3 hours, you get to sleep and wake up. And remember those ones in school, you go and pick them. If you don't pick them, they call the social worker for you, collect your children, or the gbere. So you go and pick them, see to their own work. As you are doing that, maybe their mom comes in. You can have chance to sleep for another 2 or 3 hours. The moms take over. Weekend is back to back like that. You understand? So, is it that when you have to take children to school, that is when you remember that you want to be pressing remote? When you know that you are supposed to be sleeping, you will go and sleep. Then you see some people, they find it so difficult to cope in the first 1 to 2 years of their arrival in another country, because their routine is being obstructed. It's not going to be the same. Maybe you are the father that doesn't take children to school. You will take children to school. You will attend parents' meeting. If they want to see you, maybe your children go, especially African, our children, when they take shit, maybe one child just misbehave, you give her enough for a bowl, they will say, call your mom tomorrow. They will call you, summon you in to warn your child not to be beating other or to be bullying other children. So is it the mom that is at work and you at home? You that you are at home, you will not go and attend to the school. Or they have shows at school that the children have to attend. You have to go with them. That's when you see fathers going there to dance ballet because their mom has gone to work. So if you are there going, then we will follow a child to school to go and do what? You will follow. You will follow, Papa. Abi, when the children come back from school, their mom is still at work, and the children are crying for food. Won't you feed them? Won't you make it? But you will wash dishes, wash plates. Are you seeing me wearing skirts? I'm wearing pants. I'm the man of the house. I can't do all those chores. You will do the chores. You will wash baby bumbo. You will change diapers. So get that one at the back of your mind. You will do and overdo, Papa. Woman will be sending me message. Yes, she will send you message. She will send you message. You will go. She will say, Baba Lagbaja, there is no pampers. You will run cricket. Go and buy pampers. Baby food, baby milk. We don't have okra. We don't have salt. You will even be praying that let her cook our native soup. And suddenly she says, today, my work is not that much, let me cook soup. And then she will now say, there's no salt. You won't run krikiti. Go and buy salt. You say, you will eat noodles, You will eat noodles, Noodles will grow on your head. So if you are not ready to be committed, you cannot do it. These are realities. It is not then say, I've been in it. You will change diaper. Let me bust your bubbles. When I had my last child, I was working 5:30 a.m. to 2:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Can you believe it? 5:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. So, I'll bathe my baby in the evening. In the morning, I'll just carry her from sleep as she's sleeping. I'll put sponge in water, like clothes in water, and clean her up. Change a diaper, wear her a new dress, place her back on the bed, and she'll be sleeping. So I will leave the house by 5:30. I resumed at 5:30. So I'll leave the house by 4:45. So I'll go. Especially when there's snow. You have to drive slowly. So when I get to work, maybe at 9 or 10, when she wakes up, that is when the dad goes to work. That is when the dad will now change the diaper, wear her shokoto, her trouser, wear socks and shoe, take her to the daycare. Right? Because you have to choose. You have to know what is good for you. It was because our schedule was like that. If our schedule was to be like both of us have to work in the morning, they would take her to daycare as early as 7 a.m., 6 a.m., 6:30 a.m. or 7 a.m. in the morning. So she was a little lucky because the dad will not start work until like 10. So they will leave the house like 9:30. He will drop her. I close by 2:30. At times, the dad doesn't get to work until 12. So on those days, she will only spend 2.5 hours at the daycare. By 3, I'll be at the daycare. I'll pick her up, go in. I was sewing. I was doing my work. I was doing babysitting because I will babysit my daughter. Right? And I will cook. So those are realities. At times, daddy will have to back her, tie her on the back, and be sweeping the floor when I am cooking. And the girl decide to make trouble. Maybe she wants to cry. So those are realities. This is not a one-person job that you now leave everything for the woman to do. And at the end of the day, the woman will be overstressed, will be so tired, and will start, getting angry over trivial things because is over laboring herself. And when she could no longer continue, then she will start, complaining, and then she will stop cooking for you. You will now say, Oti kegbe. When you want to kill her, uncle, if you push a cow, you push a cow to the wall. When the cow gets to the wall, the cow will turn back to you now and say, Kilode, chauffeur pamini. That is it. That's reality. So, when is the woman doing everything? She will be the one to go to daycare, take the child to daycare, pick her up, hospital appointments in go. We see fathers carrying tata, babies that are less than 1 month for immunization, be 2 months, when the mom have gone to work. Or maybe the mom was the one that did the overnight with the child. She will want to sleep. She will monitor you with the phone till you get there, give immunization, and come back. or check up for the child. You now say you don't want to do. So she'll be the only one to cook, nurse the child, take them to school, games, programs. When the children are doing after school, rishi programs. And you, the man, will now say, just for me to make money and put money on the table. And eat your money. Sleep with your money. Because the woman will have been so exhausted, too tired. And when it comes to bill, you will say, one on shisha, and you still be expecting me to contribute. That's cheating to me. Yes. For too well, see, for si well, too low of him. This is not a matter of because she's in abroad, she's copying. No. No. We are all humans. Don't over-labor your spouse. Those are realities. If you say you want to pay nanny, yes, pay nanny. When you see that nanny is collecting so amounts every month, you will sit down and talk things out with your wife. You will sit down and talk things out with your husband. You will plan. That is when you see our people going there, they don't want to have many children. 2, 3, maximum. Some 2. Some will have 1 and say, no, they are not doing anymore. Because when they calculate how much they spend every week, they won't even have anything to themselves anymore. So those are realities. You go wash bum. You go bathe your child. 3 children, you go bath them in the morning before their mama come back from work. Some, their mom, you would have given them breakfast, pack their lunch. Their mom will come, press on pom. You put the children in the car. The mom rush to go and drop them. That's when you get ready for your own work. That is if the mother is doing overnight. That is it. And some will go from one job to the other. Especially maybe the woman is getting good job, well-paid job, and your own job is not that much. So one person will volunteer to spend more time with the children. Or maybe when you get over there, newly, no job, and your wife is making hair. She knows how to do all this handiwork. You will be the one to back baby and be singing for the baby, while your wife is making hair for the customer. So you go pick attachments. You go there help the wife pick attachments for customer. You say you don't want to do. You will do unless you'll be hungry. And you remember you have your own family too, your extended family, your mother, your father, who are looking up to you that our mommy ti lọ lóyìnbó, èmi náà jẹun ọmọ. You won't want to give them. So when you think about all those ones, reality will dawn on you. Some people cannot take care of their, Adebowale Ademola, he says, no big deal taking care of my children by myself. Yes, no big deal. That no big deal that you said, some people cannot say it. To clean their own shit safe, na wahala. Someone once said sometime that if the husband uses bad toilet, she will be the one to go and flush. The man will not flush. I never see that one before. You will not flush toilet. The lady said until she confronted him and said, "Kini big deal, láti máa bá mi flush toilet." Say one day she took one shit for toilet. The man come back say, "Kí ló fa gbogbo nonsense?" Say, what's the big deal? We're not flush here. You can see how lazy some people can be. That's why we as parents, we should try and be teaching our children to be independent and to be useful. One of the reasons why marriages don't last, because when one party is always up and doing, and the other party is always relaxed, doing nothing, it will be so tiring and exhausting. And then fight will start. fight will start. So don't expect that you will get there and be living the same standard or the same life. Even if you want to live like that, you will still work for it. Rome was not built in a day. You have to do some things. Some will even be telling you, if you cannot get anything. I once had an encounter with a doctor who was telling me, a medical doctor who had hospital in Nigeria here. He had hospital in Nigeria. Then, when he now got to US, he had to start, he started working as a he started doing a menial job, like all this small job at the hospital. Said, there was this particular lady who was always picking on him. They would say jargons, rishi, call him names. Whereas he was studying, because he was a medical doctor here, you can't just get to, because he was a medical doctor back home, so you can't just get here and say you want to start working immediately. No, you have to go, it's a procedure. They will have to test you to see your fit. So you have to study and then do some exams. So while he was doing that, they didn't know. So this particular lady was always picking on him. So when he finished, he was ready to work and he was looking for opportunities, here and there. Lo and behold, there was a vacancy for a medical doctor at that hospital. It was a very big hospital. He said he applied and did everything. So when he got chosen, said they were looking at him and they know you, because the way he dressed, it was somehow different. And I said yes. That he used to do the CNA's job, like changing people's pampers, and everything. And I said, oh, so you're a medical doctor? I said, yes. How many years experience? 17 years experience. I said, wow. So they now said, thank God, that particular floor, they needed a doctor. So they put him on that floor. So when they were now doing a meeting, they do meetings, now said they are going to introduce their new doctor. So when the lady saw him, he was like, you are not on uniform yet. When you are done, you come and do this, come and do that. He said he smiled. So when the lady now saw him again, I said, didn't I tell you to do this, to do this, to do this? Said the man, I said, oh, I was already bringing him to you to show you the new doctor we have. Say, what? The new what? Say, yes, the new doctor. Say, what doctor? Him? Hey, doctor? I say, yes. It's surprising to everybody. Said, before they finished for that day, the lady called out that she was sick. Say, it took her days before she could come back to work. Because she never knew he was a medical doctor. If that man had gone into the country to behave like, oh, I'm a doctor, I cannot do this, I cannot do that, he might still be roaming about the street. Because if you don't go underneath, to start from there, you cannot climb to. Have you seen anybody climbing a ladder from the top? It's not possible. You climb from the floor, from the ground. You climb until you reach up. You cannot climb from up. No. So that is another reality. So those are the things, that when you get over there, you are going to meet. Are you ready? The other day I was telling you, be intentional. If you are going there with your spouse, if you have it at the back of your mind that this is going to work, communication, call yourselves down, talk about it, look up and down, sideways to see what will work for you. What works for Mr. So and so and Mrs. So and so might not work for you. So don't dwell on what worked for them, or don't expect to do the same thing like theirs. Yes, humility. You have to humble yourself. Calm down. Calm down. And make sure you're ready for it. There's one thing for you to have the resources. There's another thing for you to be able to function when you get over there. So no amount of money you carry from here, go to Nigeria, if you are not going to plan very well, it will not work. And when you are coming from Nigeria, no amount of naira you change to dollar, it will be small money. So you are coming here to work more for it, to make sure you get more, to live a better life. So be ready for it. And I said it the other time, if your spouse is going to school, studying, don't relent to you to be studying by the side. Do one thing or the other to encourage, to brush yourself up, to improve on yourself. Not that when your wife is done and you are not fit, you now be crying up and down that she's not a nurse, she wants to disappoint. She's not a doctor, she wants to disappoint. Because she will now be reasoning like people of a like mind, like doctors like herself, nurses like herself. So if you're on one spot, you're on your own. Don't say because you are babysitting as a woman, you too will not do one thing or the other to brush up yourself. Try to do one thing or the other to brush up yourself. That is it. So, any question? Do you have any question for me? That is it. To meet up with the spouse. That is it. This is not a matter of contesting with each other or, no, or rivalry. No. Because there will be inferiority complex if the man cannot meet up anymore or the woman cannot meet up anymore. You can't go out with me. There's a Christmas party for our colleagues. They said we should bring our spouses. I'm not going with Baba Lagbaja. I'm not going with Iya Lagbaja. Because he won't meet up, she won't meet up. No. But when you are doing that side by the side, due to you are brushing up yourself, then you will meet up. When they call anybody, then they call any meeting, you will be fit. You fit in. He talks, you talk. She talk, you talk. And as I said, when you are coming abroad, you should be able to allow your wife, especially men that do not allow wives to talk or to do this, to do that. That's why when their wives get here, they grow wings. Let your wife walk, unless you could just kill yourself. Let your wife walk. That is it. She will be home. I cannot be washing bomb. I cannot be. So you'll be the one to pay for pico, for light, for electricity, for water, for gas, for accommodation. You'll be the one to pay for the internet. Our own family, when they need help, you'll be the one to do it. Your own family, when they need help, you'll be the one to do it. The person will just drop down and die. Because it will be too much. The pressure will be too much on him. So let your wife do something, no matter how small. Even if it is the money that she will be spending to fend for her own family and to pay 1 or 2 utility bills. Or children need $20, $10, she can pay that one. Let her do something. And you, the husband, that will now say, I have brought you abroad, so I am relaxing. This is Ebenezer. This is how far I can go. So you continue. I have seen spouses like that, men like that. You say, because I brought you abroad, So go and be a nurse and be bringing money. And when that one now says no, you will now say, I made you what you are. No, you did not. God used you for yourself. You yourself, you did not encourage yourself. Because your wife is part of you, you are part of your wife. Whatever you have done for your spouse, you have done for yourself. You don't see it. Some people will see it as favor. That because we are one. Two have become one. So, whatever you do for your spouse, you have done for yourself. You have done for yourself. So when you get there, walk. Let your spouse walk. Both of you should walk. That is how it will be enough for both of you and be flowing down. And when it flows down, that is when you remember this, that. So part of the reality, don't go and make promises before you leave. As soon as I get there, I will buy motor for you, I'll buy car for you. Now lie you. Because when you get there, you still have to pull it here to make it meet together. Not that you will meet it there like that. You have to work, toil, struggle, sweat. Rome was not built in a day. As I said, you have to work for it. Right? May God bless us. And I want to use this opportunity to encourage us as parents to be, or parents or grandparents. Please, let's be talking to our children. Hear them out, even though if we are not going to do or meet up with all their needs. Let's talk with them. Let's have time to talk with them, to ask them questions, to even ask them about ourselves, how we are doing as parents. I know they will have excuses, they will have one complaint or the other, but it doesn't matter. Whatever their complaint is, after they have left, think about it and see if you have done right or not. And for those people mourning over their children, I pray that the Lord will comfort them. The Lord is the only one that can comfort them. And we also, I pray that we will not lose any of our children, and we will not have any cause to cry over them, by God's grace. Thank you so very much for joining today. Thank you so very much. Take me as I am, right? Forgive me. I think I have spoken up well enough. I'm having some little crack on my voice. As you can see, it's not really picking up well. But I don't want to be shouting so that I won't lose it totally. Take me as I am. Thank you so very much. God bless you, everybody. Till next week, Thursday, that we are going to meet. Right? There are so many topics. One after the other, we'll be doing it. If you have any questions, even if it's in the past ones we have done, and you remember them, bring it forward for the next one. We'll ask ourselves questions. And I'm still going to do it in a day where I'll be able to call people on camera to talk with us. Are you ready for that? Are you ready? I'll call you on camera so that you can talk and see how it is to talk. God bless you. El Nino, take note of the people that have been with us from the beginning of the program till the end of the program. Take notes. Thank you so very much, everybody. God bless you. Till next week, I love you all. Oluwabi or Abid Busi are still my names. Thank you.